Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Manny B Investing MBI, and we've got the June 21 Paribus blog post, Medium page. Your money, their crypto. Of all the shocks and surprises the current bear market has brought, the latest is sure to coin the new acronym YMTC, your money, their crypto. As platforms and centralized organizations seek to take control of users' assets, liquidating them and freezing withdrawals, the whole crypto space is undergoing a transition that looks to set to end in greater regulation. As devastating as the Luna collapse was, it triggered a chain reaction of events that led to cascading liquidations and whales hunting for liquidity. This has only increased volatility and attracted more ire from regulators. Rumors of insolvency are now as frequent as claims that the market bottom is in. Establishing the truth of either is proving to be fraught with difficulty. The events of last week exposed an open secret amongst many venture capitalists or venture capital VC funds within the space, namely that some platforms were using client funds to speculate in high-risk trades. The innovation and hope of decentralized finance, DeFi, had, in these cases, been replaced with some of the worst elements of traditional finance, TradFi. Hedge funds and platforms alike were using cryptocurrency that had been deposited with them to earn yield in a somewhat unethical and unorthodox fashion. Well, not really unorthodox to me, because, banks have been doing this for forever. In TradFi, when you invest in a financial vehicle that will be spread across the market, the risk is made explicitly clear and the track record of the fund manager is open for examination. Although explaining risk clearly and researching fund managers won't stop people from losing money in TradFi, it's a far cry from what's been happening in certain quarters of DeFi. And it looked like Drake here pounding his fist on the table. No one knew that their crypto was being used in leveraged trades. It hadn't been disclosed until the risk became apparent and the various funds and platforms had lost hundreds of millions of dollars worth of client funds. It's akin to your accountant taking your money to a local casino and gambling it away. The truly shocking part of the unfolding disaster was that this was taking place in some of the most well-known and previously well-respected teams. Darlings of the last bull market were quickly turning into villains of the bear market, and in so doing, they are giving plenty of ammunition to regulators and anti-crypto lobbyists. That's just something we don't need in this market. So I keep telling you, please, self-custody, decentralized platforms. That's why I mentioned in the Twitter space about DEXs on Milkomeda. Using DEXs on Milkomeda is the way to go. You keep the tokens in your wallet, in your custody. You only execute contracts when you're doing trades. All right. The reason this is of particular importance is that the DeFi poses the greatest risk or the greatest threat to TradFi. Every central bank is looking to release its own central bank digital currency or CBDC and are pressing regulators to clamp down on decentralized systems that pose a risk to their plans. For DeFi to have any realistic mainstream future, it's essential the environment is purged of irresponsible and unethical bad actors. The hope of many was represented by achieving true decentralization with the creation of DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. DAOs operate in a democratic paradigm where proposals are raised and voted upon, guiding the future path of the body they represent. What no one foresaw was the potential downside of having democracy with no structure or safeguards, as was seen in the case of the Solin platform. Due to one of their major clients facing a seismic liquidation event, Solin tried to reach out to them to request they liquidate in over-the-counter trades rather than through automated market trades. OTC trades are through brokers rather than the markets and don't affect the listed price, whereas automated market trades can cause supply shocks. So this is kind of what Luna did. They tried to do back behind the table deals with their assets so that it wouldn't affect the price fixing, basically. The whale in question was facing a liquidation in such epic proportions. Solon were concerned this would cause a death spiral for the Solana token. So it's a selfish maneuver, similar in those some ways to the Luna crash, just like we said. When their efforts to negotiate with the whale failed, they tabled a motion with the DAO to seize control of the wallet and liquidate it. And shockingly, this proposal passed. So this is terrible. Like, I saw a friend of mine that I know in real life posted on Twitter, and they said, I didn't really know what they were talking about. I think it had something to do with an NFT project, and there was some stuff going bad, like it always does with these NFT projects. And he tweeted, I vote that we take control of the wallet. And I'm sitting there like, wait, what? I don't want to be involved in anything where a DAO and a platform can just take someone's wallet and take the tokens out of it and do what they want with it. That is not decentralization. You might as well put your money back in the bank. In a multi-million-dollar corporation, such decisions would be prefaced with significant input from legal counsel, warning of a legitimacy and danger of the following such a path of action. In the case of DAOs, however, no legal counsel is usually appointed. This can lend to crazy democracy that operates outside legal norms and can expose the organization to severe regulatory and financial penalties. And this is exactly why we talk about America not being a democracy. America is not a democracy. It is a constitutional republic, because if it were a democracy, it would be burned flat to the ground, because the majority would be able to make whatever crazy decisions they wanted to make and execute it. A second resolution passed later, nullifying the first until they can table a third proposal along the lines of again seizing the wallet and liquidating it themselves over the counter. What happens in the end is still uncertain. However, it has caused severe reactions across the entire DAO community. And this is what I talk about. I've talked about this in several spaces with Paribus in the past, and people kind of didn't like it. But that's why, like, I look at countries, I look at America. America has safeguards to keep a majority of loony bins from seizing the country and making bad decisions that hurt everybody. We are a constitutional republic. There are guidelines. There's regulation in the way things are governed. So a group of people that were just born, like, say a generation just has a bunch of kids, and they just outnumber every other generation. And this generation is just hell bent on doing something that everybody else doesn't agree with. If we were a pure democracy, they would get their way, but we're not. And the same thing should be applied to DAOs. There should be safeguards protecting the DAO. It shouldn't just be a pure democracy. I'm sorry. Those don't work. We have a long history on this planet of countries and nations that have failed in pure democracies. There's a reason why we need to come up, or the people that are designing DAOs and designing this technology need to come up with a way to do a fair DAO, sort of like a constitutional DAO. There needs to be safeguards. There needs to be hard locks on certain circumstances. There should never be a way to just take a wallet and take all the assets and then do whatever you want with it. That's just not safe, because you can get a rogue group of people that just take over the DAO and they can just burn it to the ground. Intentional or unintentional. But once again, recent events have shown the importance of steady, measured progress within crypto projects. DeFi and democracy both come with huge responsibilities. With the power blockchain technology unlocks my Apple Watch is acting crazy. At this point in time, anyone who still believes the move fast, break things approach is universally valid would do well to consider the tens of billions that have been lost in just the first half of 2022. Yeah, I'm not with it. I'm with testing, test nets, doing things the right way. It's the only way, unless you want to have a lot of pain on the road to greatness. Make sure you hit that like, hit the share. Thank you for sticking with me. I feel like I'm back from COVID. I feel like I can just continue to make content. So I'm going to keep on making videos for you. Probably not just blow you up with videos, just kind of ease back into it. And we'll get through this bear market together. We'll learn about DeFi. We'll learn about crypto. We'll learn about Paribus. And I definitely want to start talking about NFTs, CNFTs, and start getting into that world, diving into it. Thank you again. Make sure you hit that like, hit the share, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.